Hello, my friends. Welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday for Tuesday, November 25th, 2025. This is Jennifer. I guess you guys can probably see what I have to show you today, which is my finished tree skirt. I did get a little bit of extra time to work on this last week, and I got it quilted and cut and bound. And I am so in love with it, guys, that it's so much more beautiful than I even thought it would be when I saw it on the wall unquilted. My original plan was something between 50 and 54 inches. This ended up at 51 inches. To make the circle, I used my OmniGrid yardstick, which you could use, honestly, any yardstick. I have a plain old wooden one that would have worked too. And I used a push pin and stuck it into my wool mat. I've never done that before. I don't know if it would hurt it or not, but it's about 5 years old and I figured why not. So I put my wool mat in the center, stuck a pin exactly in the center where I wanted, and I very slowly just followed this like it was a compass and drew the circles that I wanted. The center circle was a giant spool of thread. I did do my favorite swirl on this because I thought it looked like snow or wind or whatever going on. And the quilting was mostly uneventful, but I did have a moment that was very eventful, and that was just a stupid, thoughtless mistake that I made. And I'm telling you guys this because I've been quilting for years and it happens to the best of us. So I was quilting along. I quilt with my right hand. I'm quilting along, making sure the fabric is smooth. I'm watching it and just keeping an eye on it. And then I see a piece of fuzz right where I want to quilt, and I just went to brush it out of the way, and I sewed right through the tip of my finger. So you guys, just as a cautionary tale, be careful when you're sewing. Be careful when you're quilting. I'm not going to go into details, but I am okay. It's just, whew, it was pretty scary. So anyway, so I miraculously did not bleed on this beautiful blue and white fabric. And then I was able to pick up the next day and start quilting again and get this finished. I had enough polka dot left to make bias binding. I had to look up how to make bias binding because it's been probably 10 years since I did it. I don't use it very often, maybe even longer than that. I think the last time I did it was for a bag that had curved, like a curved opening that needed bias binding. Put that all the way around. I actually sewed it to the back, turned it to the front. By far the easiest way for me to do that. Me personally, that is my personal preference. And then this was actually straight of grain binding because I didn't quite have enough bias binding to do the outside, the inside circle, and the sky. But I had just enough of that fabric to do everything I needed, and I had about, I don't know, 20 inches of straight of grain binding left. I also added 2 buttons, one in the center and then one sort of in the middle in between the center and the outer edge. And I used just a tiny tab of elastic to hold that button in place. I literally just sewed it on like a loop and then pulled that around. I only had 2 of them, and I think they work perfectly because they pick up the darker fabrics that I used as accents. Let me flip it over and I'll show you guys the back. This is my fun pieced back made with stuff that I had on hand. Most of this blue fabric were scraps that I brought home from Jennifer R. When Jules and I saw her in August, I brought home a bunch of stuff that needed to go to Austin Creative Reuse, and almost all of that went, but she had some offcuts that were clearly from a quilt back that were just really long pieces. I think they were maybe 9 inches wide, and I pieced all of those together, and I pieced together some just white strips that were with the fabric that I had in my stash, and I actually quilted it horizontally, but I turned it because I just love the way it looks, and that's how my little split ended up. I doubt you'll ever see the back of this because I will have the pretty side up, but I think this side is also really pretty and very Christmassy. I love the way it came out. I absolutely love it. I love the front. I love the back. I love the binding. I love the label. I love the buttons. So let me give you guys a close-up of the label here. I wanted something really simple and just to show that this was made for my family in 2025. I had kind of a short week last week because I went out of town on Friday. So the only other thing that I worked on, which was running while I was working on this quilt top, were some machine embroidered Christmas ornaments. I made two little reindeers. This is a pattern from Urban Threads. I've had it for years. I've made these before. They're always just really fun to make. You just make them on water soluble stabilizer, rinse it away, and then it has the little, these are just little brads like you would use, I mean, just office supplies. The little legs are adjustable. I will be giving one of these away, and then I'm not sure about the other one. I might save it in case I need just a surprise gift. So that is going to be it for me, you guys. I hope that you have a lovely week. If you are celebrating Thanksgiving this week, I hope that it is peaceful and non-dramatic. We just celebrate with our two kids, and it is as low-key as you could possibly get. It is the best Thanksgiving, and just certainly for my family. So anyway, you guys have a lovely week. Have a crafty week. Hug someone you love. I hope you get to make something fun, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.